having everything in the world, he finds that it is not satisfying. As if it is, I am in a hellfire. Because it is all, everywhere is all, loss of peace, frustration, and all the worldly meanness, unkindness, everywhere it is. So this is not a place for a holy person. Holy person, that's why getting a little blows of the world, seeing those things, they try to withdraw. Uh, that's why Sattvika person, Rajasika and Tamasic, three people are there. Rajasika person will retaliate. That's why it is. Sattvika person, they will withdraw. Tamasic person, they will be violent. So the reaction to the same. That's why sometimes people ask, so much social dishonesty and things are going on. You monks, you are sitting here, you can do something good. No, that is not for the monks. Monks should be Sattvika. They should understand this, withdraw, and come to the people in spiritual solace. They are not taking a gun and go on fighting. That is not their job. But those who are in the world, those who are having a state of mind, it's depending on the state of mind. They will have to protect the country. They will do justice thing. And the Tamasika, they will do unjust things. So this, for men who are caught between the affliction of the forest fire, or forest fire of what? Forest fire of worldly miseries, and the dangers of the sea of samsara. He saw in this samsara, this world, samsara means world, in this world and worldliness, what you can get. He understands this. We cannot get ultimate peace. You can get some appearance of some peace, some appearance of some momentary joy or something. But there is no other means to go across the sea of samsara, sea of world and worldliness, this pain and suffering and death and disease, bereavement and all this. You cannot go beyond the sea, the boat of absorbing account of the Lord's excellence. It's like a boat. It is like a boat. Absorbed, when your mind is absorbed in the excellences of God, that is a boat. That means it is your mind. When the mind will be like a boat, which will, how the mind will act, this mind will absorb the spiritual glory of God and the excellences. So the mind is tuned to that level, then that will be the boat which will ply through the burning fire of the samsara, world and worldliness, and keep you free, make you free. You will not be burned by that. You can cross it. So, across the sea, the boat of absorbing accounts of Lord's excellences as displayed in his sportive manifestation. What type of listening you will hear? You will hear the glories of the Lord, how he was born, how he played the divine play, how his mind is absorbed in Ramakrishna's life story all the time, Holy Mother's life, Vivekananda's life. If we read, there is no touch of selfishness, but whatever they are doing, being absorbed in God. So if that thinking goes on, our mind will also be absorbed, and that will be like a boat, and that boat will be able to ply in the world, not being affected by it. It is there, things will be there, water will be there, but boat is not, water is not in the boat. And that boat can help us to cross the water. Otherwise, we get drenched there. According to Vedanta, the cessation of samsara can take place only on the removal of ignorance. In Vedantic way, you say that your ignorance is creating this duality, get out of that. And ignorance is in where? In your mind, is it not? Ignorance is not in any other object. This is ignorance is not there. Ignorance is in your understanding. All our conflicts in life also you look at them. Oh, I didn't understand. People do some right or wrong things. And or when someone gets into argument and things, they said, why are you doing like that? It is not true. When the truth comes out, ignorance goes out, knowledge comes, they say, oh, sorry, I didn't understand that. We tell all these things when we in this matured age, when we look back to our life, we say, oh, my mom used to say this. No, that time I didn't understand. That time we didn't listen. That now I remember. See, mom told the same thing. It went into the West for so many years, but it is now resonating in the heart. So that is becoming a truth. So, had we understand that, we need not have to go through this suffering. So, removal, that ignorance when goes, then knowledge comes. Then, how then one can, the Shravana, the hearing of the divine excellences, affect this? Then now the reply is given by Yudhishthira. What is that? How can there be any downfall for those who absorb through their ears the inebriating nectar residing in the lotus of thy feet? How can there be any doubtful for a person, those, suppose the devotees? There cannot be any downfall of the devotees. Why? Though which type of devotee? Those who are absorbed in what? Absorbed through their ears, listening to the glories. This ear is the instrument. They utilize the instrument, they listen to the glories of Lord, and that itself is protecting force. It does not allow the devotee to go into suffering and pain, the ditch of suffering and pain. So how can there be any doubt? That means there cannot be any downfall. How can there be any downfall? Means there cannot be any downfall for those who absorb through their ears the inebriating nectar which is residing in the lotus of thy feet, and emerging from the mind of holy ones through the medium of their speech. That is when the holy people, they add some strength into it. Stories are stories, no, written in the books. But when it comes from a person who has visited that becomes more tangible experience. No? We can read a description in a newspaper. And suppose someone comes, well, I was present on that occasion. Then everyone's attention will go to the person who was present, what he says. Right? So in spiritual life also, books may be their description, scriptures may be there, but when it comes to a spiritual person who is practicing, it adds its energy and force into these words in the form of hymn and narratives of the Your Excellence. Such hearing, this type of hearing, which comes out of the holy people's mind, because why holy people's mind means if the mind is not holy, what happens? It gets distorted. If the mirror is not perfect mirror, then what will happen? It will distort your figure. You see your own face, it will distort if it is not perfect, plain mirror. So, if the mind is not plain, mind is not purified, then any message which comes, it will be distorted.
Oh, that is what they are showing that the Buddha Purnima in the video. That in Zen, they say like that, when you want the food, the first thing you clean the bowl, and then in the clean bowl you put the food which you will take inside. If you have the dirty bowl, then the food you take inside is going to create indigestion. So the cleaning of that good thing is important. What you are going to take inside. Otherwise indigestion.
And that's why spiritual truth say the same message was given by Christ. No, the whole Bible is there. Why crusade happened? They are followers of. Huh?
Is that Joan of Arc? The Crusades?
But I am saying they are Christians. They follow the Bible. And Bible is the message of love and forbearance. Cheek, push another cheek. Yeah? If someone slaps on your left, give the right cheek. Huh? So all this message, why they went with the sword and did this and did such big thing, human slaughtering. So why it is happening? Misunderstanding of the message, what was given. Why misunderstanding? The mind which will receive it. Huh? It is getting distorted. The message gets distorted. If you stand before a mirror, plain mirror, you see yourself. But if you stand in front of a concave mirror or convex mirror of different curvature, you see your figure is distorted. So your figure is distorted, not that does not mean that you are distorted. So the mind, distorted mind, is receiving the same message and explaining differently. Whole Islam world. Why so much fight and everywhere you go? I came back from Bangladesh, I saw. But it's good. Why people are doing that? Real Muslim people will say, oh, this is not Islam. That means a pure mind who have perceived the Islam, the Quran in right perspective, they say it is love. Don't hurt anyone. You cannot do that. Specifically, they are quoting in that this time this Imam quoted so many verses from Quran, so many verses from Quran. But are not the other Muslims reading that? Same reading, but a concave mirror, convex mirror. What happened? The mind is not clear. Those mind clear, they explain those right way, and those mind distorted, and then action follows. First, what you understand, that is major point. And when you understand one way, you act that way. Understanding and acting goes side by side. So that's why distortion happens. That's why mind is to be pure. And mind pure, how it will become? You have to listen from a holy man. That's why unholy people explaining the scripture is creating tremendous difficulty. I was in this time India. I was passing through. It was about 10 o'clock in the night. I was going to one place to another place, to our one center to another center. And I saw the big sign of Mahafil. Mahafil means the God's name. It is Islamic some ritual. They do a period of time. Then in night time, after a whole day's work, people will assemble and they will talk about God. They will sing the glories of God and chant and explain. When the Maulvis will come and do. Maulvis means the Pandits will come and do that. And these people who are driving me, they are saying, my God, this is the starting point, Swami. You wait for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, you will find all types of abuse words. That is the message coming. All these people are kafir, these are doubt, you can slaughter them, you can do that, they are not going in the path of religion. These Hindus, these. What type of spiritual explanation is this? And we heard the explanation from the Sufi mystic. This is also explanation. That is also why they are explaining that. The person who is explaining, his mind is colored in a way that he take the meaning of the Holy Quran in this way. And that's why it is many places you read the Quran. I asked one time to one of our leader in the Islamic center here, yes, why can you give me one good Quran you should want to read? He said, Swami, which book will you take? You have to, if you want to know exactly what is Quran says, you have to learn Arabic. Because these are all explanation. Everyone who has translated, he has a slant. He was a very honest person. He says, as his leader of the community, he said that I know, but this is the explanation of one person, how he perceived it. The translation always distorts. Translation distorts according to the color of the mind. But that's why it should come from a holy person. You see why this scripture is again and again saying holy person. Holy person does not mean monk, does not mean a householder, whose mind is pure. Whose mind is pure, through that mirror, the shining light of the Lord, what is intended, that will come out. And these are distortion will come, which is not beneficial for the person who is speaking, and he is throwing the venom into the society, which is not good for the society, which creates disruption. Instead of friendliness, there comes all types of anger, mood, and association of negative feelings. So it is not there in the main book, but they are holding that as a holy Quran, but explaining this way. See, even if you go to you can compare. So go to the Gita. Have you ever heard, listening to any Gita class, have you got any message from anyone that go because you are reading the Gita? It is a war, for righteous war, and now take a gun and go for righteous war. Have you heard any time in the whole history of the world of Gita reading? But why Quran reading will have so much reaction? It is to be thought about. Gita reading immediately, oh, you have to be truthful. Oh, you have to check on your character. Oh, you have to be kind to others. You cannot do any wrong thing. You should be sattvika. You should be this. People even reading that do something, that is their fault. No? I know this is good, but I cannot follow that ideal. I am a dropout in the class. They are a good student, bad student. That's a different thing. But the book, reading the book, no one gets inspired to take a weapon and go and kill somebody. Even there are so many righteous, unrighteous things going on.
Also, another thing happens was so much politics involved because of their oil. Look in Iraq, what Bush did. Totally based on falsehood. So
I understand, but I'm saying who is explaining to the ordinary. I don't blame the ordinary Muslim brothers.
Because isn't
They are
something
innocent.
Are you saying like something is getting lost in the translation?
In the lost in the translation or twisting it, because Sanskrit, Arabic language is so rich, like Sanskrit, you have maybe 5-7 meaning, 10 meaning, like in the Torah.
Right.
If you read the Torah and if you want to know the language, what is the language? It's called Hebrew. It's like Sanskrit. It has so many meaning, but which meaning you are taking there?
That day that Jewish leader said like that kosher. We say so generally the word kosher means blessed. But that's not true. Kosher means the right thing. Like that. So when you say something rightly, they can say kosher. Like that. So
But normally it is understood kosher food. You go to the purchase any or restaurant, I want kosher food only.
Right.
Actually means I want pure food.
Right.
That has gone distorted into a different level,
Right.
ordinary person. And also, as a result, the whole society accept that word in that translation. So, see, look at that. It should come. That's why it is very important. It should come to the mouth of a person who is holy person,
even
sattvika person.
even people believe and say that the Jews killed Christ, which is totally wrong, and it's still an argument.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Romans who didn't want Christ. The Jews thought he was, the Son of God, but the Romans had to have him killed because he did not
accept
the
kingdom. I'm a Raja. I am the king.
No, I forgot the word now.
The emperor
Caesar.
or something.
Caesar is God
Mm-hmm.
to the Romans.
Right.
And if you don't worship
Caesar.
as God,
In the early days,
they're the ones who.
yeah, see, that is the point. Early days,
Wasn't
kings were considered God. In Indian tradition also,
Yes.
the kings were like God.
Yeah.
So there is no God but your king. So arrogant, other good kings, they think, I am the representative of God. Why? As God does justice, as God protects the innocent, as God is for the poor and suffering to help whoever in difficulty. That is the duty of a king. In that, so I am his representative, the humble. But those are arrogant. They say, I am the king. Who else is God? Why are you what? Kongso, what he did? Kongso's major anger was that, who is king? I am the king. Was Prahlada's father, Hiranyakasipu. He was the king. He said, why are you worshipping another king? His son is saying, Prahlada, telling everyone, my brothers, when they are playing in a playful mood, this world is unreal. God is only real. Brother, you study, do everything, but call upon God, call upon the Lord. And his father was angry. He said, what is my son is saying? I am the king. I am the Lord. And he's saying another Lord. So he become angry with the Lord Hori. Narayana we call. Anyhow, the same thing. Lord versus king. This is the tussle. And ultimately, he was so angry, and then you know the story that he said that I am the Lord. And he appointed a teacher, and after some time teacher also taught, and then he came back and found that his son is the same. Son is still loving, talking about Hari, Hari, Hari. Then he punished the teacher. What time? I paid you money to teach that I am the king. Teach him I am the king. I am the Lord. There is no other Lord. So this is the thing. God and Lord adds together. And that is when you think that you are the Lord, that is the same thing. Christ said, sometimes he said, I come to protect you. Some words of compassion when it comes out of a avatar, they say sometimes, but rarely. But most of the time they are humble. But sometimes they have said. And that has been taken and misunderstood. And then it went against him, and a false situation was created. So the point is that Sravana is helping if that Sravana comes through a person whose mind is pure and understanding. Huh? If the bulb is here, if you put a red cover, the color will be red. It is not the fault of the light. If you put it purple, it will be purple. So the question is that the explanation and all this conflict comes because of the misunderstanding. And in Hinduism, again and again, that's the glory of Hinduism. The incarnations come, reinterpret the same thing. What Krishna reinterpreted, what Rama interpreted, and again people forget. Buddha interpreted, forgotten. Again, Shankara came. Shankara's interpretation, people forgot. Then again, go on and on. Incarnations are coming again and again. And when they forget, then they exemplify. This is the meaning of religion. In this age, Ramakrishna Vivekananda, they said, realization. God realization, that's the goal of life. That is called religion. Religion is not talk, religion is realization. So emphasis. That is the, again people will forget maybe after some time. Again, God will come to correct it. But it is the nature. That's why it is said, Swami Vivekananda, who did so much for the world, he said ultimately, but it is dog's tail. A curly tail. You try to straighten, it stays on. If you are powerful, then you can hold on for a longer time. If you are weak, just you release and it turns immediately. So ordinary people doing some social work, good work, it stays for its impact is few days. One good political leader comes, does something very good for it, and immediately other who are evil motivated people, they fight, they oust him and get into the position. All the presidency of the country or any political position, who are taking charge of that. There are good people, there are bad people. When it comes to the bad people, its reaction is always negative. So where we are 31, no, 32. No, 32, 33, 32.
What is that?
How can there be any downfall for those who absorb through their ears the inebriating nectar residing at the lotus feet of your emerging from the minds of holy men? We are thinking of this point. Through the medium of their speech. Mind we express. Speech is an expression, isn't it? Expression of what? What you are thinking. Your mind expresses through your speech. So the holy man expresses their understanding and realization through speech. And if we hear that speech through our ears, then I can get the benefit of that. And that's why there cannot be any downfall for me. I am listening to this. If it comes from a holy man, means holy mind, which does not distort the meaning of it, and if I can absorb it through my ear, then there is no downfall for me. Such hearing destroys that forgetfulness or ignorance which effaces in embodied beings the memory of the Supreme Ishvara, the Lord, who is their source and to whom they are intimately related by bonds of love. That means it will efface all types of embodied beings the memory of the Supreme, which effaces ignorance. Ignorance is taken out, and as a result, the memory of the Supreme God or Ishvara will be established in the heart. So, this is the beauty of listening to the Holy. Achha, the note is there. What is the note? Can you read?
Ignorance is, according to all systems of Indian thought, the cause of bondage, though there are differences among them and the nature of that ignorance. One of the ways in which ignorance operates is by bringing about a forgetfulness of the real nature of oneself and everything else. Thus, the jiva has forgotten his own nature as spirit and thinks of himself as a limited, perishable body. So also he is ignorant about the existence of God and his relationship with God. Instruction in devotional disciplines brings enlightenment and restores the memory about the truth of God and one's relationship with him.
So ignorance is, what is ignorance? Ignorance is
the cause of bondage.
Cause of bondage. Ignorance wherever there is ignorance. Wherever there is ignorance, there is misunderstanding. Misunderstanding cause suffering. Misunderstanding cause animosity. All the selfishness, everything because of misunderstanding. So in this, there will be no family conflict if understanding is there. Mother and child, there will be misunderstanding. That's why there comes a problem. The husband, wife, in the community, people, next door neighbor versus. Then similarly, one community versus another community. One country versus another country. All the source you go, misunderstanding. You say in one way, another person interprets another way, and there is no sitting, exchanging the thoughts, and one does not put himself in the other's place. Major problem of all our misunderstanding is that if you learn to put yourself in the position of others.
Yeah.
Suppose you are there, what will you do? Then you can feel, yes, suppose I'm caught into that position, that how shall I express myself? How shall I react? If you feel that way, like a child does, a mother understands that. Mother does not throw away the baby, though mother understands the baby's condition, his limitation, weakness, or his positive point. Anyhow, ignorant about it. So, if someone is ignorant about existence of God and his relationship with God, instruction in devotional disciplines brings enlightenment and restores the memory about the truth of God. And
Hallelujah.
yeah, hallelujah. Okay. What is the time?
Time to go.
Time to go.
Tea time.
Tea time, yeah. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. So, by the by, by the by, I am leaving tomorrow for Dallas. And I'll go to Dallas and then go to Houston, go to Austin. But I'm coming back. Thursday there will be no class, and I'm coming back on Tuesday to give the class.
Wow. Okay.
How about
So just-
Bhajanananda?
So just Thursday is cancelled.
Who will? Nobody comes and he will be sitting with Mahajogananda. That will be, he will be happy.
No.
If you have people, then it should be. Because even if no one comes, it will be unnecessary to tell him. Had it been Tuesday, I would have asked him because many of you could come. So, and what you are saying?
Yeah.
Anything more? Jaima.
We're going in June again to Texas.
Oh, acha, in June again, there is a possibility of my going to. I am planning to, feeling that I'll be moving to Australia for 3 weeks or so.
Oh wow.
But I do not know whether it is a visa issue. They are very rigid, Baba. So many rules and regulations. You fill up the form, then they say